Today, I want to talk to you guys about what you should do before you buy your first rental property. Number one, you should know what your personal finances are and where you stand. What is your net worth? What is your debt to income ratio? Those are all important things that the bank is going to look at and underwrite whenever you go and apply for a rental property loan. What is net worth? Net worth is what your total value is. You take all of your assets, you add those up, and then you subtract it from all of the debt that you have. And that will give you your net worth. That number could be a positive, it could be a negative, but at least you know where you stand and where you need to build from. After that, what is your debt to income ratio? Well, that is a ratio that the banks use to figure out if you are personally and the asset is able to pay for the debt service. What they do is they take all of your monthly debt service payments, you add all of those up, and then you divide it by your total income. That is going to get you your debt to income ratio. Now, that ratio should be around or below 35%. That's where banks typically like to hang out. Whenever you're doing some underwriting of your personal finances, be trying to get in that 35% range because that is what's going to help you whenever you go to apply for a loan. Now, whenever you get that rental property and it has that rental income, then that is going to be added to the total income and then the new debt to the total debts, plus any other expenses. This is going to give you a global overlook, which is typically how banks are going to underwrite your deals. They're going to do a global of your personal finances as well as the rental properties finances, unless you're using different loan instruments. But if you're using a portfolio loan and you're planning on utilizing a lot of debt, that is typically how they're going to underwrite those deals. Next, you need to figure out what your location is, right? And what your goals are. What are your goals? Are your goals cash flow? Are your goals appreciation and just to build wealth and to basically hedge against inflation that we're having? You have some cash and you just want to go stick it in some properties and it'll break even. You just want that increase of appreciation over time. Or are you trying to quit your 9 to 5 and you need that extra cash flow because you're wanting to replace your income, right? Those are two totally different goals and you're going to invest differently based on those goals. So you need to figure out your goals and then you need to figure out what markets are going to basically work best for those goals. Like a higher price market where you're going to see a lot more of appreciation, you're probably not going to see as much cash flow there. But like a Midwest market where you're going to see where values stay, I won't say stagnant, but only increase a little bit over time, those are going to be more of your cash flow markets, right? They're a little bit lower price. You're able to still have higher rents and have that cash flow. You need to figure out what your goals are and then figure out what areas support that goals. Next, you need to look at what strategy you're going to use. Are you going to be doing just turnkey, where you basically have your 20% down, you purchase it, it's already done, you don't have to worry about any rehabs, anything like that. You're wanting to get a cash on cash return on that 20%. Is that going to be your strategy? Or are you wanting to do the burst strategy where you buy, you rehab, you rent it out, you refinance it, and you repeat? You basically take your chunk of money that you have, whether that's with to purchase the property, whether that's with a home equity line of credit, cash, private investors, credit cards, literally, like the list goes on and on. You can get so creative with the burst strategy. Are you wanting to do that where you basically rinse and repeat and grow your portfolio that way so you're able to continuously grow and you're not having to save up that 20% down over and over? That's going to be a totally different and way more hands-on strategy than just turnkey. Are you wanting to do build to rent? That's something that we recently just pivoted to. We've built up our portfolio using the burst strategy, and now we're pivoting to build to rent strategy. So figuring out what those strategies are, and then what strategies are you doing once you rent them? Are these long-term tenants? Are these mid-term tenants? Are these short-term tenants? All of those are different business strategies, and you need to figure that out and see if that works towards your goals. Again, going back to our goals, does it work towards our goals? Figuring out your strategy is another way that you need to do before you invest in your rental property. Basically, we need to figure out our personal finances, we need to figure out our goals, we need to figure out our location and our strategies. Those are 4 things that you should do before you start buying rental property, is figure out those 4 things and then buy your first rental property.